Naam, yogis and yoginis. Hello, welcome to one more video. Today we're going to talk about stress, particularly the relationship between stress, relaxation, and vitality. Now, this is a topic that we go in depth in level 2, in the second level of the teacher training for Kundalini Yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan. We're going to just explore today a little concept from that level 2, that is this triangle, this relationship between these three aspects of stress, relaxation, and vitality. Now, often you may have heard this concept like stress is not bad. Stress is necessary in life, it's necessary in our lives. If we had no stress, zero stress, absolutely zero stress, we would not even be able to get up from bed. Yeah, just to be able to notice, oh, I'm awake, okay, I need to get up. And then if there was absolutely no source of stress in my life, if I don't have anyone to cook breakfast for, if I have nothing to do, I have no meetings, I have nothing in life, where is the will to get up? Yeah, there is a need for a little bit of stress, at least, just to be able to get up and do something, anything. Yeah. Only the one who is in the grave is the one who has no stress. Stress is part of life. So, stress is part of life. However, the kind of life we lead nowadays in our modern world very often is an excess of stress. And stressing can be repressing, can be distressing, and can be depressing. Yeah, there is a number of things that can go linked by the hand with stress. And so we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to manage it. We don't know how to what to do with it even. Because if stress is not bad, then what do I do with it? Well, stress is, let's take the polarity of stress and relaxation for a moment. Yeah, stress is on the other side of relaxation. You can be stressed or you can be relaxed, and both are necessary, but none of them are not good nor bad. Even relaxation. Because there is a karmic aspect and there is a dharmic aspect, like almost everything in life, yeah? I love to see always both sides of the coin, and in particular in this topic, it's very important to see. There is a way to be relaxed, which is karmic, and there is a way to be relaxed, which is dharmic. On the karmic expression of relaxation, you find when it's too tamasic, when you are too switched off, like difficult to get up in the mornings, very, very passive, yeah, very lethargic, very tamasic energy, yeah, but in a very karmic way. Now, you may be very relaxed, but, that's like there is no vitality, there is no life in your life. And there is a dharmic way to be relaxed, which is calm, but present and ready to go into action whenever you need to, but not in an agitated state, but actually calm and peaceful inside. That's a thing that we want. Yeah, that's dharmic and dharmic expression of relaxation. The same way with the stress can be karmic, and it can be like an excessive amount of things we need to do, and we don't have enough time to do them, or we don't have enough knowledge how to do them, or enough something, and then we feel the pressure on us, and that's squeezing us, and we feel like lost in some way, and maybe that can lead to a loss of a number of things, like your energy, for example, your will, your sense of meaning. There's a number of things that can happen as a result of that. By itself, that kind of karmic stress is, the definition of it is when the outside pressures, the outside demands on you are higher than your inner resources and your inner intelligence. When you cannot deal with the outside, then you are under this karmic stress, toxic stress. Now, the dharmic version is stress being active, moving, doing things, not like sleeping all the time, but actually very active in the world and doing stuff. And that's necessary as well to be alive, to feel alive. So that's a dharmic expression of stress. So Stress and relaxation can be dharmic and can be karmic, and we, through yoga, can learn to manage both and find a balance between the two. Now we can draw this in a very nice diagram, which is at the triangle between stress, relaxation, and vitality. Let's go straight to that. Sorry. Let's have it centered. All right, so this is the triangle. And on one side we have the relaxation. Another one we have the stress. And on the higher vertex we have vitality. So these are in the opposite sides of the spectrum, but the vitality is a result of what's happening between these two. What this means is that you can take, for example, let me draw this triangle here, a bit smaller. Yeah. You start very relaxed, and then as you increase the stress, you have more vitality, you're active in the world, you are doing things, and you are being productive, you feel like you are moving somewhere, you are going in your direction that you want to go, hopefully towards your destiny. But after a certain point, after a certain optimum point, yeah, the more stress is going to be detrimental. It's going to be decreasing your energy, decreasing your vitality, then you cannot cope, and eventually you crash. And it's more like a clutch, like that. Yeah? And then this is what we call burnout. Yes? And then you may end up depressed. Yeah, that can be a result as well. And then you may end up in this or in this corner of the triangle. Yeah, and also can be very relaxed, but very like in the sofa, you cannot move, you cannot do anything. So can be relaxed, but it can also be a high form of anxiety in it as well. So the yogic perspective is that the ideal is not to be always relaxed. The idea is to find this optimum point of vitality. Remember, this is vitality, life. So optimum point of life. This is the ideal. And we find that by learning how to go into relax and stress consciously. So some of the things that can go associated to this, you can see this like a face. Look, this is like a nose. Yeah. It's a nose. And you can see this would be Ida. Oh, wait, no, Ida, and this is Pingala. Yeah, so this is like as I is not how we see it in somebody else's face, but this is my left, and this is my right. Yeah, my left side and my right side. So when we are breathing mostly through the left nostril, we are stimulating the. Oh, I wrote it correctly at the first time. Okay. Apparently, I don't know where is Ida and what is Pingala. Let's go back. Ida and Pingala. The left side and the right side. So the left is the relaxation and the right one is the activation. That's it. The right side of the body is associated with the yang energy, associated with the left hemisphere of the brain, and the left side of the body is associated with the right hemisphere of the brain, and that's more yin energy. Okay, now I got it. So in yoga, we explore this breathing. Like one of the things that we do is this alternate nostril breathing. That's one of the things we do to stimulate the central channel, not Ida nor Pingala, but Sushumna, which runs around the middle, yeah? And it would go towards the third eye, yeah? The vitality would lie here, yeah? If this is a face, yeah, you would have, this is one eye, and this is another eye. Yeah, this is our face, our yogic face. Now, In this, we can see a few things. Now, when we are doing yoga, we are playing around with this relationship between relaxation and stress all the time. In every posture that we do, we are activating ourselves. And between postures, we are relaxing ourselves. Maybe it's just 10, 15 seconds, but we are doing like a small relaxation. Sometimes it's longer, depending on the exercise. So there is like, in every class, there's like stress and relax, stress and relax, stress and relax, posture, relax, posture, relax, posture, relax. And then the whole kriya, or the whole physical work, the whole part of the asanas, that's all, in general, that's the stress. And then we do a relaxation after this part of the physical work, And then the meditation would be like being present, but not moving too much, maybe some mudra and chanting a mantra, but very vital, with a lot of vitality, a lot of wakefulness, very awake, So the very way that a class is constructed, a yoga class, contains this triangle, contains these three aspects. And the idea is that if in the training, in your training, yoga is a training for life, you know how to activate yourself, you know how to stress yourself consciously and relax consciously, then you learn how to go into these two modes by your own will. Now that is going to be crucial when you go out into your life and you are having a deadline and your boss is on your shoulder and blah, blah, blah. Okay, now I'm active, but can I just for a moment stop, take 3 deep breaths, inhale Sat, exhale Naam, and reach a moment of calmness back? Can I reach that moment again? Can I find my way back to a still point? If I can go consciously to one and the other, then I can reach vitality. So the very same way, the way a Kundalini yoga class is designed is going to be working on that. Even within the postures, when we do different postures, like in the relaxation, we do the child pose, or Gur Pranam, or when we are in the cobra pose. So that's going to be, cobra is stimulating the sympathetic nervous system, and the child pose would be doing the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxing aspect. So you could see how different postures, those who bend backward, those who bend forward, which bend forward, they are going to be stimulating more sympathetic, parasympathetic to stress or relax ourselves, and we can find our balance. And we often combine one with the other. We do one sympathetic, one parasympathetic, sympathetic, parasympathetic, in some way that we are exploring how to reach this balance in ourselves. And eventually we want the Sushumna to be active when we get to the point of the meditation. So this is the way it joins the three of them. We can also see here the gunas, because it's three aspects. We could see how this is tamas. And again, tamas can be dharmic or can be karmic. Stress would be raja. Again, dharmic or karmic. And vitality would be sattva. We can write it in many ways, but anyway, tamas, rajas, and sattva. So we could see these three things, So, through the exploration of yoga, we learn how to go consciously into stress, consciously into relaxation, and we can heal ourselves from, maybe we have been through a long period of stress, and the body is just, even though we go to sleep at night, we don't recover from the stress. So still in the morning, we still have a high level of cortisol, which we know, we want some cortisol in the body to be active in the morning, but we don't want it that in a way that is not going down, it's always up, because then it's very taxing for the nervous system. So through yoga, we explore this capacity to also being able to relax and finding our own curve, this curve, because for some people, your triangle may be more like this, in the sense that you can go higher and higher and higher before you reach your optimum, and then it's a falling like that. So maybe your optimum state would be actually more active than for somebody else. For somebody else, maybe, you know what, I only have this certain capacity. And maybe yoga can change this, but you have to learn to recognize it first of all, because otherwise you go too far, then you go into this crash point. So finding where is your point and where is your vitality. If you have been through a period of a lot of stress and maybe you went through a burnout, you're going to have a very flat curve. And maybe you don't want to go too much stress, because soon you get too stressed out. So maybe the amount of vitality that you have at this point is very little, and you need to spend a time of recuperating, which may involve a lot of sleeping and relaxing and yoga nidra and good food as well to recuperate, so that you can find your optimum triangle again. So that's it. This is a very short video just to explore these three aspects of how we experience relaxation and stress in life to find our optimum point of vitality. And if you understand this concept, this is very key to having a healthy relationship to stress and getting the most out of our life. I hope it was useful. So write a comment in the comments, give it a like if you can, and subscribe if you want to be present for the next videos. Sat Nam, thank you.